We are live now.
There we go.
Sorry guys, we were having a problem getting it up and
Updated.
running. Who knows?
Technology. Okay.
It's always changing.
Yeah.
So, glad you all could join us. We're going to do bunny proofing tonight. I'm sure everyone needs that. My normal spew. Please like, share, follow. We are still going up and doing great. I didn't look today at the numbers, but we're doing fabulous. So please like, share, follow. Also, put in the comments where you're watching from. Joy and I love to see where you guys are watching
That's
us
so
from.
much fun. For everybody, actually.
It is. So I'm going to turn it over to Joy while I get this hooked up on my cell phone.
Okay. She watches the comments. It's much easier to watch them coming through on her phone, her iPhone.
Mm-hmm.
So at any rate, bunny proofing. A lot of people, have issues with bunnies because they say, well, they chew. Yes, they chew. They have to chew. Okay, rabbit teeth grow their entire lifetime, and although we can give them hay for their back teeth, those front teeth also need to be able to chew on something. And so it's a little bit like a child. If you don't give them something to chew on, they're going to find something to chew on. Okay, so we always want to make sure that they have plenty of toys, and we'll go into that in a little bit here too. But as far as trying to keep them from chewing different things, if they've got plenty of things, you can always tell them no when they approach something that doesn't. But for example, I just have it way over there. I've got my wire that has all chewed up, okay, because they really, really do love electrical wires. That's one of the really big problems with bunnies is they love electrical wires. And a lot of them are even really, really good at not making that connection with biting straight through and causing themselves to get electrocuted. They managed to do one side,
And I have a great story in that.
Yeah?
I was taking a nap, and my little Hollandlop, who never came out of the bedroom, must have came in when I was sleeping.
Okay.
And my husband just bought a brand new big screen TV, and he came home for lunch and he's trying to turn the TV on, and I'm like, it was just working. I don't know what happened to it. And he pulls it out, and the cord was a cord this thick. And he said, your bunny chewed my cord. I said, no, he never comes out. And I turn and look, and he's sitting in the hallway staring at my husband.
Okay. Yes. Yeah. We've all had pets get into trouble. We have kids get into trouble, etc. So trying to avoid, things like that. Now, it's especially difficult when you're in a room that you think, you shouldn't have to worry about. Mm-hmm. But just like children, the bunnies can sometimes show up where you're not expecting it. So electrical cords particularly, one of the things that works fairly well is this is called split flexible tubing. Now you can see my finger in there, and it's not bunny proof perfectly because bunnies can chew through this, but it's a harder plastic, and so most of the bunnies really don't care for the texture of this, but it's still a good idea to be supervising your bunny for using this. There are some wire wraps if you want to really get very strongly into that you can find. And of course there you can get the plastic tubing, the hard plastic tubing to cover it. One of the things that I've seen people use is like the water tubing, like for fish tanks and things like that.
That's what I had to use.
But that is still a rubbery texture, and a lot of the bunnies really like that texture. Now, sometimes they just chew on that and not go through to the cord because they like that texture. But it's just something we just want people to be aware that they're likely to chew on that texture too.
What I did is get that, and I did ivory soap all over it.
Okay.
And then set it on the floor, and they never touched it.
Yeah. And a lot of bunnies, they really don't, care for the taste of that. But again, this is very inexpensive. You can find it in various sizes. So if you've got the thick cord she was talking about, or the little wire cord for your computer, your laptop, whatever, that works. You can find the small wires too. So those work really, really, really well. In telling people, about bunny proofing, we do tell them to. It's also your responsibility to keep certain things out of reach of the bunnies, okay? Bunnies are likely to chew on something like, say, a wax candle. So you don't, oh, that looks really cute on the bottom of your console table. But if you've got a bunny that's loose in there, they might chew on that, okay? So you don't want them ingesting any of that wax, and you certainly don't want your candle ruined either, you know, that type of thing. So keep those things out of reach. Remote controls, anything with rubber buttons, out of reach. They love rubber buttons, okay?
Remote, boy, they like remotes.
Oh, and yeah, remotes, or if you've got a phone, you know, a handheld phone, something's got rubber buttons on it. But I mean, literally, those buttons will be gone. You'll be pushing them with a pencil or something because those buttons will be gone. They love them. It's just like candy as far as they're concerned. So that's, you know, one thing to do. We found that, reaching over here again, a lot of things out of my reach. I should have. This is perfume, okay? You want to get the absolute stinkiest, most obnoxious perfume you can possibly find. Something that your nose is like, oh, okay. Now, remember I've said in previous shows, we have something like 5 million receptors in our noses. They have 100 million receptors in their noses. So you're taking this really, really stinky perfume and a Q-tip, and it's like touch, touch, touch. So it might be on your baseboard, but you're up there, the bunny's down there with the, you know, the baseboard going, ew, pardon me, but you haven't stunk yourself out of the room. Cologne doesn't really work because you spray that and it's going to stink you out of the room. Q-tip doesn't work because it's alcohol-based and it's going to dissipate. So you want that really obnoxious, stinky, oil-based perfume that you can put on there. One of my bunnies decided, now he liked to lay behind the toilet, and the bathroom was nice and cool. Okay, then he decided he wanted to chew on the wallboard behind the toilet. Okay, and he didn't go back there anymore. Yeah, chose another place to lay for a cool spot. So things like that can really, really work very well. You've got a side, that wants to chew in here on the door frame or something. A little, perfume on that Q-tip. Yes. At a previous issue on one of our shows, one of our members had called in, or had written in about her bunny liking to get in bed with her, and then but getting under the bed and chewing on the sheets. She said it worked. Mm-hmm. So it's just a matter of, you just find something. This way you're not being mean to them. You're just making that area not something, a place where they want to be. There's a lot of things that, people do. I've seen a lot of people use grid panels, okay, for, you're connecting them, and you just are going to use, zip ties, and I'm going to show you a couple of sizes here. But you can do this, you can do it tall, you can do it long, however you need to do it. Some people will use this around the bottom of the bed, underneath the bed skirt, so the bunny can't get under the bed. Rabbits love to get under the bed, okay? To them, it's like their tunnel, that instinct for them to be in their tunnel. And then you try to go in there and get them out, and they're like, and that's like, but my bunny bit me, and it's like, as far as that bunny was concerned, you're trying to pull them out of their tunnel, and it frightens them. Mm-hmm. So, and it can be really difficult sometimes getting them from out under the bed. Sometimes they do it just as an amusement.
Okay.
My little guy, he knows he's not supposed to be in the bedroom, but he will sometimes dash in there, dash under the bed. Now, as soon as you go in there, he runs out, okay, because he's just trying to get your attention. So if that happens, maybe your bunny needs a little more attention, okay? But these work really, really well for a lot of different things.
I put mine against the wall for baseboards and cords, and what I do is put a little bit of cardboard. Just kind of cut it off behind here, put all the cords behind it, put it around the room, and there's no way to get to it.
Yes. Now, after that, I want to make sure that you are avoiding anything. I've got two different colors to make sure it shows up here. Something with these large openings, these squares. A small bunny could easily get their head through there, and then once those cheekbones are through and they try to pull back, Well, they can't. They're stuck, or maybe they're, from their ears, and they can panic. They can break their neck. Okay.
Yep.
So you really don't want anything. I mean, if I can get my hand through here, that bunny can probably get its head through there.
Well,
So-
we got those dwarf bunnies.
And a lot of the dwarf
Boom.
bunnies. Yes. So, so you avoid anything this size, all right? And as far as the zip ties are concerned, okay, again, I got two different colors on this, but these little tiny ones, I don't particularly recommend. They are harder to zip tie with, and
They're thin.
they're thin, so they can snap a little more easily than one, say, this size. So this is, just, like 6 inches. And, this one is a little, larger. It's okay, but it's a little bit more than you need. But if you use it, it's fine. Now,
Just cut it off. Make sure you cut them off.
right, and that is the key, okay? When you zip tie it together, okay, be sure to cut off right at, let's see the point here, they're in front of my face, there we go, so that you don't have anything poking out, because it is so easy.
Well, I always worry about that. So I cut it and I turn it to point,
In,
yeah.
yes,
So it's not pointing out at the bunny.
right, yeah. And so you want that flush, with that nub there, and just to make sure that, they aren't, because it is so easy for them to scrape skin. Their skin is so delicate. And then you've got this little abscess starting, and you don't realize it's there because it's so small to start with, and then all of a sudden it starts to grow, and boom, you could end up with a major issue. So always anything that can poke the bunny, you try to make sure that that surface is smooth. But most of the bunnies, it's rare. I've only heard about one or two bunnies that told me. People told me that the bunnies would chew through these.
Yeah, mine.
They don't like it. It's a hard plastic again, and they like soft plastic, for chewing through. So that's why we tell people with toys, make sure it's a hard plastic toy, not something soft plastic they can chew up and ingest, type of thing. So now you can do things like, okay, we've had a lot of people do these.
Maybe.
I'm just going to sit up, yeah. This is just a puppy pen, okay, the exercise pens type of thing, but we've had people use them to go around a decoration, okay, so I'm going to mention Christmas tree, but you could there's all kinds of holiday decorations that you might not want the bunny getting around, so while the bunny's out, you just surround it, with that, or block off that room. These work great for things like that because they're going to stretch out, quite a ways. You got 16 feet of stretch out here to block off an area. So again, this is something that works really well. And then I've had very successfully used, we keep showing these things. Some of these things are so much fun because you get to use them over and over and over again. Okay, so this particular, this is just the concrete form that normally is filled with cement and makes that pylon there, but they make great tunnels for bunnies, and they make great block-offs for behind a couch where you don't want the bunny to get under the couch from the backside or reach an electrical cord that's going down the backside. So, and I've taken these where I've gone and, I'll say it, should we put it this way because, when we're in front of the camera it's harder. But I've done this and, made it so that it was just exactly the length of the couch, taped it, because the bunnies don't balance well up here. So they will go through the tunnel and out the other side, from the couch, and they can have a blast running around and around and around, that couch, but they can't get under the couch and they can't get, to that electrical grid that may be plugged in, behind the couch. So you've got, a toy and you've got bunny proofing, So as Bobby mentioned, the soap, the white ivory soap, we recommend simply because, and in the block form, not the liquid, because it doesn't have any perfumes, dyes, or deodorants in it. It's just supposed to be plain soap, so it wouldn't be toxic if the bunny does ingest it, okay? You got any other bunny proofing suggestions? Because you've got a bunch of grandkids, and there are things out there that you can bunny proof for children that also work for bunnies.
I do. For the plugs, I don't know. So they come out with the little cases you can put over the plugs.
Uh-huh.
I always do that. Then I run it up the wall, you know. But then my little grandkids aren't sticking their finger.
There you go.
I did have my little Joey once had I don't even know, a stick or something, and I caught him just as he was going to stick it in the light. So,
Alrighty.
yeah, I almost panicked. So my
Yes.
whole house got bunny proof. But honestly, my house is so kid proofed and bunny proof. There's just nothing any of them can get into anymore.
I mean, fine. If you're worried about them getting behind something, you can use wood, trying to get, say, a 2x4 or a 1x2, anything that works for behind it, and then it's really not visible to other people. You can even, it's a light color, paint one edge of it black so it just matches right in with the shadows, so they can't say get behind the dining room, cabinet or something of that nature.
I had a lady, her bunny was obsessed with the baseboards.
Yep.
And I told her, go to Home Depot and see if there's another baseboard that you can kind of just like attach to the outside of, because she rented.
Mm-hmm.
She found, and it was, I wish I would have brought the picture. It was like a picket wood fence, but they were just this big.
Oh, how cute. Probably out in the garden or...
Yeah, and she did her whole baseboards with that. And so if it chewed, it was chewing on that. It was removable.
Yeah.
But it looked so cute up on her wall. Oh my gosh, on the baseboard, it was so
It would
cute.
look cute.
But it was like a little wood picket fence,
Mhm.
probably about this big, and she just outlined them. They were white. Oh, it was beautiful.
So bunny proofing can look okay too.
Yeah.
If you're not overly concerned about appearance, say if you're I'm renting, I want to make sure my bunny's not chewing on the baseboards. I should have a piece of that here too, but quarter round. It's simply called quarter round, and it's just this little half circle of wood, and it's very lightweight. You just use finishing nails. Yeah, I did have, and
I think it is up here.
is it still up there?
Yep.
The plastic and the quarter round. Okay, bring that over here. So first that one. Okay, so this is the quarter round. Okay, so and as you can see, it's hollow on the inside there, type of thing, and you just end up tacking it right onto the baseboard. So like this, and you just use little finishing nails. This is a really easy. It's fairly flexible, but it's wood, so the bunny can chew on this. You're just protecting the edge. Mostly that's what they want to chew on, because that's what they can reach, is that edge. So that works really well. It's very inexpensive. Another item is this, and this is simply your plastic edges. Normally they're put on the edges of a room, so that people who have carts or wheelchairs or things like that aren't scuffing up the corners and tearing them up as they go through. But they also work really, really well for bunny proofing. If you've got a bunny who wants to chew on the edge of that. Dogs, people, if you have puppies that want to chew on those edges, this works really well. Okay, so all of these things can be used in multiple ways, and even with children. I mean, you've got children running through, maybe you've got them with a little tricycle on the inside of the house, carving around. There's lots of things that you can do in multiple ways.
You just have to be creative.
Yeah, it really boils down to that.
Getting creative, and going online. Everyone shares all their great tricks.
Yeah.
Just go start Googling it. You'd be surprised all the awesome things they
Not
come
only,
up with.
Google bunny proofing, but you can, like here, if you have something that works really well for you, put it on our,
Post
slide,
it. Yeah,
Yes,
post it in the comments. Because again, like Joy always says, we also learn from all of you.
Oh, yeah, there's been lots of tips. I had one lady, now this would be a little bit more expensive, although not hugely, but she used double-sided sticky tape, tape that she put on her baseboard. Because then the bunny's going up because it's sticks to the whiskers or what have you.
I have heard
and
that too.
Yes, and it worked great. And so there's so many things that that you can use. And again, like we were talking about before, be sure that you are giving them plenty of things to chew on. you know, whether it's that wicker ball, willow basket, cardboard box, you know, all of those things, so that, you know, it's just like a child. No, you can't color on the wall, but you can color in the coloring book.
I can't preach enough about the more things you have for your bunny to do, the busier your bunny is, the less trouble it's going to get into. So having all of those, well, like we showed, the dig boxes and
Yes.
all those creative ideas, that's going to, it kind of falls into bunny proofing because it's keeping your bunny busy doing what he should be doing and not getting into things he shouldn't be getting into. It works. I can't preach that enough.
Right, yeah. So well, we're actually, because we were a little bit late getting started, but we're almost at our 6:30 mark. If anybody has any questions, please, you know, write in. If you've got suggestions, please post them for us. We'd love to see this, you know.
Yeah.
And, you know, and we do want you to hopefully tune in next week. We're hoping to have a really fun show next week. We're going to do a little happy hour here. And also we talk about the same thing, things to keep your bunny busy with, but this should be something really fun to watch as well.
We're excited.
So we're excited to do it. You know, we want to get it set up. We've done these a couple of times before with our members, bringing in their bunnies. This is just going to be with our shelter bunnies because unfortunately, we still are dealing with COVID, so we aren't going to have people shoulder to shoulder, and that's exactly what happened. When we did this with our members, we must have had 100 people in the room, shoulder to shoulder,
It was
all watching their bunnies
crazy.
play. It's like dogs in a dog park. Okay, so we will be just using our shelter bunnies, but it should be still a lot of fun. And, you know, things that people can do and get an idea even in your own area of starting up something like this when it's safe to do it. You know, or if you've got multiple bunnies that aren't bonded, it's something that you might be able to do in a neutral area of your home. So just little things that we can think of. So if we don't have anything, then
we don't have anything, but I just seen someone post from, oh gosh, where'd it go now? Springtown, Texas.
cool. Okay,
I think that's our first Texas.
it might be.
Yeah.
It's always exciting to have people join us from, you know, all over.
Oh.
And yep.
This one is a good one to touch. It says, what about a small sandbox or litter box with sand?
Okay. I've heard of people who have used sand. My personal preference is to not use sand. Think about the fact that, again, they can't burp, they can't throw up. They get in that sand, they get out, they clean their little paws, and now you've got all of that sand going through their digestive system. I just wouldn't feel comfortable doing that.
I did hear of a lady, she was doing it. It was clean sand and everything. She thought she was safe, but her bunny was digesting it, and it plugged it up.
Yeah, that's what
And
that's
it
what worries
couldn't-
me.
Yeah, it couldn't be, and by all, not her fault. I mean,
Right,
obviously,
right.
you don't think of it.
Now, I did have somebody who got clean as clean dirt as could possibly get, like from a nursery, and she did a little sandbox, and even had like the little seat on for like the kids, because when the bunnies got in there and dug, this was an overlapping thing, so it's the dirt stayed inside. Now, you got to realize those bunnies are going to get dirty. Okay, if they're getting in dirt, they're going to get dirty.
Yes.
But they did have a blast. I once saw a place, now this again, if you're going to get it really elaborate, that had taken an area where they had taken packed dirt, but they put it around a hard plastic sewer like piping, and it was 3-pronged. So the bunny and the prong, everything stuck up. So the bunny could actually go down underneath the ground, basically, and pop up on the other side because it was going through the little plastic tube.
Fun.
And it could still dig in the dirt. And I'm going to show one other thing, and I'll have to run over here.
Yeah, while she's getting it, and a lot of people take packaging paper, put it in the little tiny pools for puppies, and let them go in there and shred and dig newspapers, cardboard. A lot of people are starting to do
Okay.
Yeah.
This is just a busboy tub. We love them. We use them for all kinds of things. I go over there and show you one of my bunnies has a bed and his bus toy beds. But these are just ping pong balls, okay? And so the bunny can get in there and root through them. Now, we mentioned this when we were talking about foraging, because you could take their food and put it in there, or some little treats, and they have to forage to find them, move this stuff around, okay? Now, as you can hear, it makes a lot of noise. The bunny that has this doesn't use it for foraging, which is what I gave it to him for. No, he considers this a giant rattle, okay? And he uses it as a giant rattle. So, I'm going to give his rattle back to him. But they can work really, really well for small bunnies.
And when he wants Joy's attention, he rattles it, and she goes over to him, so it must work really well for him.
Yeah. We don't spoil our bunnies much.
No.
Okay? And they do get into routines. I am currently watching another member's bunny at my house, and he definitely has his routine. So my husband gets up before I do, so apparently the first person up has to give him a little treat. Now it's a little grass-based treat or hay-based treat. And then the next person he expects is his greens. And, well, I had ended up doing something this morning, and my husband comes into me and he's going, I think there's something wrong, but he's acting really agitated. And I'm going, oh, did he get his greens yet? Oh, he's supposed to get greens? Yeah, just go to the refrigerator and get, And sure enough, so then he was a happy camper because he wasn't getting his greens on time. And a friend of mine, she just had a problem with her refrigerator, and she sent me a photo because the bunnies like I said, those routines. And this bunny, I mean, if you could see the most pitiful looking bunny laid out in front of this refrigerator, because that's where the greens are supposed to come from. And no greens are coming out of this refrigerator. And I mean, that bunny looks pitiful.
Oh my goodness. I'll let you just read it so you can answer it.
Which one here? Okay, use a cat litter box with aquarium gravel to dig in. Non-toxic, easy to sweep up, and too big to ingest. I love the giant rattle, okay. And the same thing, cat litter box. I mean, that's basically what we use the busboy tubs for. One thing to watch out with any regular cat litter boxes is sometimes they are so pliable that the bunnies chew on that plastic. If they don't, it's perfectly fine. Some bunnies are really good and don't chew on anything, or it doesn't interest them. So if that litter box works, it's fine. If that gravel really is, I mean, some of that gravel is kind of like pea-sized, and the bunny doesn't try to ingest it, it should be okay, because you're right, it's not going to have the dust and stuff like that, that the other things are. So it's just your specific bunny. I have seen other bunnies that, in fact, they almost need like those bowls that they get for dogs so they don't gulp their food down, because they literally will gulp stuff down. And so watch your bunny. If your bunny is good with that, sounds like a good idea.
Yeah.
And it can be washed,
I like that, reusable.
It is. It's something that you can, clean up when the bunny's got it messy or it gets too dusty. You can throw the whole thing and, rinse it out and dry it out on a towel and put it back in there.
Yeah, I like that.
Yes.
That's a good idea.
Thank you.
I like that idea. I think that's all of it.
Okay.
So,
in which case, tune in with us next week.
You will love the show next week. So, happy Tuesday. And Joey and I hope to see you next week. Bye-bye.